Do, 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 do. Hopefully you can hear me. Hello, everyone. Wow, it's been a hot minute since we've done a live, but glad you guys are all here. Um, well, I'll explain why I didn't go on live this morning, which is what the normal plan would have been. But yeah, how is everybody? Hope you guys are having a good start to your March. Can you believe it's already March? I still got my Christmas decorations up. Yeah, I haven't taken it down yet because we've been so busy just doing stuff at work. So, yeah, let's do our normal thing where we check in to see who is here tonight. So, by the way, if let's see, sometimes I kind of come into the chat room even before the live starts and I just start chatting with everybody. So, I was talking with Kim. Joanna's here. I know. Hey, Joanna. Hey, Kim. And, we just start talking. So we were talking about today's block or tonight's block that I'm going to do, which kind of looks like the Missouri Star Quilt Company burst block, but it looks very similar, but it's not. So Joanna says she was in Tennessee, so she missed the Zoom today. Well, hope you had a good time in Tennessee. Let's see, we got Kat here. Hello, Miss Kat. And we got Jackie here. Hi, Jackie. I got the template and pattern pamphlet when they first came out and we're on the huge sale. That's Kimber is talking about, I'm assuming the Missouri Star burst block. Okay, block looks like a sunburst. Yeah, it kind of does. Well, earlier today we were doing the Zoom call and we came up with a very sinister name that I cannot repeat on the YouTube channel here. Well, actually, I came up with a very sinister name for the block. I found my full set of orange peel templates, thinking about using the 5-inch and 2.5-inch to make applique butterflies. Okay. Hey, Miss Sue. That's Susan Leong. She says, apologize for missing the Zoom. Sitting so I had to work today. This looks familiar. Okay, well, I have to work tomorrow. Well, actually, I was working earlier today. So that's the story. I did end up having to work a few hours early this morning. So I started at 6 and then went till about 11 or so. And then we had our Zoom call, which it was just the three of us for the most part. And then others kind of joined in really late. We had, I think like two others. One was on a flight on her way to Austin, and she arrived at Austin, and then she kind of signed on right around 4 o'clock Vegas time. Yeah, we were on for quite a while, almost 5 hours today. But it was, it was our normal thing. We were kind of just sitting, chatting, sewing, talking about whatever topics came up. It was fun. Even if it was just the three of us, it was fun. Let's see. I spent the last week going through half of my scrap bins, cutting 2.5 and 4.5-inch squares. I guesstimate around 1,200 to 1,400 squares. Wow. I'm glad to be taking a break tonight. Okay. You deserve it, Kat. Hi, Mary Jane. And June Hansen is here. Hello, Miss June. Hope you're doing good. Made by Misty is here. Hello, Misty. So party time. That's Chris Montour. And let's see. Who else is here? Judy says, sorry, I missed the Zoom today. Oh, no problem, Judy. There's always more coming up later on this year. And I don't, oh, that's the bot talking. I got half yard cuts the entire essence line by Moda. Going to cut some 10-inch squares to make a hunter star. Hey, Miss Donna Hoskins. How are you, girl? Hello, Miss Carissa. Again. Want to do the hunter star someday. Okay. Good evening. Hi, Miss Suzanne Taylor. Hoping that I can one day join the Zoom, working on making a space by my machine for my laptop. Okay. Well, Jackie, you can also use your phone, in which I think I'm the only one that's probably using a computer. Most everybody else is either using their phone or a or iPad. So, yeah. I hear that. Okay, people are talking to each other. Wow, everybody's here tonight. Okay, people are just loud and clear. Okay, yes, you can hear me. Thank you, thank you. Is it too loud? I know people always complain it's always too soft, but sometimes it's a little too loud. Hi, Christy Smith. Hello, Deanna. How are you? Hi, Delia. And Stacy Baker is here. Wow. Okay, Donna Hoffler. Hey, Donna. Let's see. Hello, Miss Linda. How are you? Hope you're doing okay. It's been warming up here in Las Vegas, so hope you're enjoying that. But I kind of miss the cold now. Although it's still good to see that there are mountains that are still snow-capped here. A little bit. Although it is fading, yep. Okay, everybody says sound is fine. Okay, not too loud. As long as I don't scream. All right. All right. Where did I put it? There was something that I need to get done, and I know this person is here, so before they go away, I want to announce something. Where did I put it? Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Dum da da dum da da dum da da dum da da dum dum. Dum da da dum da da dum da da dum dum dum. Here telling a virus that I'm the boss. Oh, you go, Teresa. You tell him who's boss. All right. So I am glad, Chris Montour, I am glad you showed up because you are the winner of the February treasure hunt. That's right. And you're going to get this jelly roll strip from Benartex. It's called Artistry. Okay, so if you guys have never heard of the treasure hunt, well, from thus far in January and in February, there have been little, it's like I call it a treasure hunt. There's things that I post on this YouTube channel, whether it be a short, whether it be a community post, and it's a way for you to actually just kind of participate and win some giveaway prizes. So congratulations, Chris Montour. You got this coming your way. Please send me an email to treasureheartcreations@gmail.com, and I will get this to you. Congrats. Okay. This for February, the treasure hunt was a community post in which I asked a question, what is on your quilting bucket list? And there were some, well, I knew there was going to be a wider range of answers to it. Some people posted patterns that I have never heard. And a lot of people, well, some people also posted patterns or mentioned patterns and blocks that I personally want to do. And one of them, for example, I've never heard of the pattern Snake River, so I had to look it up. I want to do a Lone Star quilt, in which a number of you have put that on. But Chris mentioned the Jane Austen 250th anniversary quilt. And I was like, I heard of a Jane Austen quilt. I've never actually seen the 250th anniversary quilt pattern. So I had to look that up, and oh my goodness, that is very ambitious. So that's why you're the winner. Okay. Hello, Miss Claudia. Hi. Oh, people saying hi to each other. And yep, people congratulating Chris. Right. So yes, there will be another giveaway or another treasure hunt coming up in March. And pay attention to the community posts, because it's going to be something involving that as well. I know some people had a little bit of confusion trying to find the community post, but hopefully you did find it. I might have to do a short tutorial on how to find those posts. And we're going to be doing something a little extra this time, because it's going to be involving you posting a picture. So stay tuned for that. Okay, what is today's block that I'm going to work on? Well, if you've seen the thumbnail, you've seen the block or the sample block that I made. Okay. The pattern, sorry, I think I just yelled into them directly into the mic, but the pattern is called Twirling All Along by Diane Vandiver. Now, this was actually gifted to me by one of your fellow treasure hearties. Thank you. You know who you are, and I'm glad that you are here tonight, because you can watch me make this. And know that your gift has been, or it's being used up. Now, I'm not sure if I got 2 copies of the same pattern. Kind of seems like it, but okay. So the block, sorry, let me refocus the camera. There you can kind of see the blocks. Okay. The block is actually 7 inches finished. And in this pattern, and let me refocus the camera, sorry. In this pattern, it's one of those patterns where it's templated, or there are templates available, and each of the template is used, well, you have to cut out each of these templates to actually make, like, it's like one template makes each part of the block. And you'll see what I mean when if I can find the diagram. It's not a difficult block to make, but it is a block where it can be very fun to make. And sorry, where is... Okay, I know they had template pieces. Well, here's some of them. And so these are the applique pieces for the block, the border of the block. But fortunately, I do not have to cut out the template pieces, because there's an actual template set here. So, and it's only 4 pieces. What's cool about this, or what's really neat about this particular block, it goes that way, that's why. And then this one goes this way. It's a block where you can use just, I'm gonna, for on the live tonight, I'm gonna just use regular fabrics here, just with this green and this kind of maroon gold color fabric. But if you got scraps, if you got crumbs, or if you got crumb blocks, and I'll show you the one that I made earlier today. You know, this would be a great project to just use up those scraps. I can totally see doing a scrappy quilt with this. And the block itself is pretty cool, I will admit. Now, we were kind of talking earlier that this block kind of looks like the Missouri Star burst block, but it looks like it, but it's not exactly that. Okay, so now the instructions say to make this block using 2 different fabrics, where there's in each of these template pieces are labeled A, B, C, D. So your A piece and your C piece is going to be one fabric, and your B and D piece is going to be another fabric. But I mean, of course, it's your quilt. You can make whatever you want with it. But I'm just going to do, just kind of do a regular block, or nothing fancy with it. So, and you don't have to do what I was kind of experimenting with, like the block layout and just trying to see what the possibilities of it are. And there's some interesting things that you can do with it. So again, I want to thank this person for gifting me this. It was kind of like a new toy to play with. Okay. And this template set, it'll complete 1/4 of the block. So you do have to make 4 of these blocks in order to, or you do need to make 4 units in order to make the complete block on this. Okay. If you type in exclamation, well, the pattern is actually in the description of this video, but I think I also put it in the, if you type in, yeah, did I do that? Yep. If you type in exclamation project, you'll see the name of the company, the person, and the pattern name for this. So those are my A's. I'm just going to cut all 4. Looks like peppermint candy block. It does kind of look like peppermint candy. Especially if I were to do this in like a red and white type of thing. Yeah. So how has 2026 been treating everybody thus far? It's been a year of a lot of growth for me. But hopefully it's also been a good year thus far. Gosh, I can't believe it's already March. Can you guys believe that? It's like, where did February and January go? And like I said, I still have my Christmas decorations up, so I need to get moving on that, I know. But why couldn't Christmas be, or what's wrong with me just leaving it up all year? Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to kind of, no, that would be the same thing anyway. So I was trying to see if I can cut into this part or but the direction of the template is not going to allow me to do that. So I'm just going to cut it like this. Cut it like this. And we will cut it here. Okay, I'm just going to yank that off. So that piece will go like that. And I need 2 more. Now that I did that, I can do it this way. And I will turn this upside down so I can cut a little bit more comfortably. I'll reline the fabrics. Okay. Now, when I was reading the instructions, you can actually make this off of a 5-inch or 10-inch square. I just don't have either available in these colors, so I'm just using a 5-inch strip. But it would probably be easier to cut these template pieces if you had a nice square with it. And you probably won't waste as much fabric if you actually did that. Of course, I could have cut a square from this, but no, I always have to do these things the hard way. Okay, and I think that's all 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. And let's deal with the red. Let's see. Hello, Miss Shirley. That's Miss Around to It. How you doing, girl? Glad that you made it here tonight. Okay, so the hot topic has been activated. Do you celebrate St. Patrick's Day? And how? St. Patrick's Day is coming up. How do I celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Well, first of all, do I celebrate St. Patrick's Day? I actually do, and to some degree. Not that I'm Irish or anything, but I do celebrate St. Patrick's Day by, well, one of my favorite things used to be to eat corned beef and cabbage. Oh, I love corned beef and cabbage. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely not a Hawaiian thing. But when my mom used to make, well, actually my dad used to make corned beef and cabbage. Oh boy. So that's A. So I need B. B and D. Yep. Okay, wait. Let me. Nope, this is A. Where's the D? There's the D. Nope, this is B. Okay. And then, of course, being that it's St. Patrick's Day and being that it's an Irish holiday, we would go to the Irish pub. Well, this is me legally drinking of drinking age. So yeah, we would have a big celebration at the Irish pub. And yes, there's actually one Irish pub in all of Hawaii. And of course, it was always busy on St. Patrick's Day. And especially if St. Patrick's Day fell on a Friday, oh boy. Watch out, because that place is going to be full and it's going to be loud. So this is the B. And then I will cut. Now I'm going to do another B block here. We'll do it this way. So that's B. And these blocks go, well, aside from cutting, these blocks go pretty quickly. So I might be able to do a little more than what I expected. I'll cut it like this. Actually, I should turn this all the way. Then I can cut it this way. I'm trying to be cognizant of where the grain lines are. So I'm not cutting so much, or not cutting everything on the bias here, which is what my tendency would have been. Oh, I should turn this around. I'll squeeze the template all the way there, and then we'll go like that. Okay. And that is all the cutting for one block. Haha. Let's see. Sorry, let me scroll back a little bit, a ways back. Kim Burr says she's half Irish. I always celebrate St. Patrick's Day. I wear green, cook corned beef dinner. How do you celebrate? Well, we celebrate through an adult beverage, and I also eat corned beef. Although I don't know how to cook corned beef, so I haven't had that in a while. Maybe I'll just find a restaurant here in Vegas that serves corned beef. Kim says she just puts hers in a crock pot with potatoes, carrots, onions, and cabbage. You know, my dad did onions and just onions and cabbage. We weren't big potato fans. Turned out good just the same anyway. And he put a whole ton of salt and just boiled it in water. Let's see. In our class, the little green man turns the room upside down, and then the gardeners get to clean up after him. They usually love it. Okay. We used to, I don't know if this was just a Hawaii thing, but on St. Patrick's Day, if you did not wear green, people would pinch you. And it's not just a simple grab. It's like you pinch and you twist and you get a bruise after that. So you never forgot to wear green on St. Patrick's Day. Donna Hoskins is asking, how is mom? Hope everything is going well for her. She's doing good. We just found out that there's an opening for one of the care homes. So we're trying to get her in. Hopefully we'll find out later this month about it. But we did she's been resistant about entering a care home, but when my brothers took her on a visit for one, she was more receptive to it because she thought that a care home was something different. She didn't realize what it entailed. So the story is that when my father was in his last days, we actually took him out of the hospital and then put him in a hospice care home. And because she was already exposed to that, in her mind, that's what a care home was, in which we told her, no, that's the total opposite. Or not the total opposite, but that's not what a care home is. So this whole time she was so scared about, oh, I don't want to go to the care home. That means, that means it's coming, right? But when we took her to visit this one facility, she was surprised. Oh, this is what a senior citizen's home is. So she was a little bit more receptive to it. And the amenities at this particular facility would make life for her and, well, for everyone else too, it would make it a lot easier, that we're not so much worried that she's going to fall like how she already did a couple of times. And so it kind of gives us a peace of mind that she's okay. So there's half the block. Somehow I feel like I didn't line it up correctly. Sorry, was off camera there. Okay, so let's leave those pieces there. And that's kind of what the block or what each unit should look like. So these are way oversized. And of course, we're going to trim it down. Okay. And Jackie says, I don't, but my son does. He makes corned beef on his barbecue. Ooh. That actually sounds very good. Claudia says, I celebrate it with family cooking corned beef and cabbage. Save some for me, Claudia. Okay, I'm not exactly sure how these two pieces are supposed to fit, so I've been kind of guesstimating it, but I'm assuming it's better to, I'm assuming it's better to make it so that this edge matches more or less. We'll see. I need a stiletto for this. Do, 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 do. Okay, I'm supposed to offset this off a little bit, which might explain why some of these blocks are not 100% lining up, but okay, so here is the oversized block. Which it actually goes like that. No, wait, it's like that. Let's turn the iron on. Joanna says, my husband loves corned beef and cabbage. Yeah, so do I. If I could, I would bathe in it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just being silly. The town next door to me has an Italian and Irish parade every year. Ooh. Sorry, I think this outlet is being overtaxed, so that's why you see the lights and everything flickering. I'm gonna have to kind of rearrange this computer equipment to go on a different outlet, so sorry about that. Deanna Jewel says, it's snowing here today, so beautiful. Okay, hello Lois. Hello, Miss Gayla. Good to see you tonight. Okay. Yeah, I understand that, but care homes nowadays is assisted living. Yeah, assisted living, I think that's more, you're right, that is the more politically correct way of saying it. And Donna says, mom is 90s in assisted living, very social atmosphere. She loves it. Her best friend is in a nursing home, totally different, but works well for her. Okay. Okay, I forgot to turn the iron on, so it's warming up still. Oh, her best friend is 93 and requires a little more assistance. Okay. Lois says, my mom died 2 months ago, or 2 months after going into a nursing home now. My dad, who really should be in one, is terrified. Well, understandably. Anytime, Eric, you're always welcome at my table. Okay, thank you, Claudia. So I shall sew these two while they wait for the iron. I'm just trying not to get these pieces mixed up. This is the C and D. Here's those two. And then these two. This is one of those blocks where if you sew, you can easily sew the wrong piece to the wrong, or the wrong two pieces together. So having it organized is kind of key. But if you all know me, I think I have it organized and I still end up sewing the wrong pieces together. Which is why I'm making an extra effort to keep it organized tonight. Do, 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 do. Okay, that's that one. And this one is the last piece. There's those two. And there's that. Okay, so that is one completed piece, sort of. We still have to trim it down. But I do want to sew. It would go on like that. So I'm going to take this piece and just kind of line it up a little bit. Do, 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 do. Whoops. Gayla says, I wanted to be on the Zoom call today, but had some outdoor home repairs to do while weather permitted. Finally have a chance to be in the sewing room this evening. Oh, that's okay, Gayla. Yeah. Eric, have you had egg roll in a bowl? I made some a couple days ago and added sriracha sauce. Egg roll in a bowl. Is it just egg rolls and sriracha sauce, or did you put it over rice? Egg rolls in a bowl. I would imagine it would be over rice. If that's the case, no, I never had that. I should sew it this way. And here is another one. And we'll press this. I'm just pressing all of these seams to one side. And I think the pattern says to do the same. So that's what I'm doing. And I just don't want to spend the time pressing the seam open, which is another thing. Although I could, but I think maybe this, well, none of these, the beauty about this block is that there's not, I don't think there's any matching seam that you have to be aware of. And there's another block. Do-do-do-do. And there's the fourth one. Ta-da! Okay, so it's over rice, but it's not an actual egg rolls. Oh, interesting. Carissa says she's had egg rolls, egg roll in a bowl. I can't have rice or fried food, so it's a good alternative. Oh, never actually heard of it then. Oh, yep, Kim. All clocks set now except one, and I have to move a chair to get it. I'll get it tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, so don't remember, don't forget, don't remember, don't forget to that we spring forward an hour. We lose an hour tonight. Oh, gosh darn it. Okay, so I trimmed this down to 4 inches according to what the pattern told me to do. So it's oversized and you trim down. My kind of block. And there's not a whole ton of waste. So that's what one unit actually looks like. And let's do another. But there, you are sewing on the bias with a lot of these seams, so it is gonna get, well, I don't do well with bias sewing type of things, so it will get wonky onto me. But thank goodness there's an opportunity to trim the block down. Okay. And again, if you want information about this pattern, if you type in !project, it'll give you the name of this pattern. And I'm pretty sure you can find it online. And this particular pattern was part of the whole set. So we got the templates here. It was gifted to me by a fellow treasure heartie. Thank you very, very much. And as you can see, I'm putting it to use now. And again, you know, using this template set, I can definitely see myself using this to create, well, I actually made a block and I'll show it to you after I get this one sewn up, but there's nothing to cut off there. I can definitely see myself using this with things like crumbs, you know, real scrappy quilts. This one came out terribly short, so this will be interesting. I'm just gonna trim off the dog ears here. I think I may have misaligned that one. So let's meat of choice: hamburger, frozen onion medley, garlic, ginger, soy sauce, evil bags of coleslaw, SNP, and I added sriracha sauce. Ooh, that does sound good. I just got used to real time and sleeping when I'm supposed to, and now change again. This is not easy. I hear you on that one, Kim. It's not easy for us too. All right. So the block is in a 4-patch layout here, and it creates this kind of like asterisk or burst, as people say. Okay. But this is how the intended use, or this is the intended layout of the block. But if y'all know me, I'm going to experiment with certain things. So this is what I was during our Zoom call earlier today. I was kind of playing around with stuff, and then I started shifting the blocks around, or playing around with the designs of it. So if I invert this, you get kind of a star block that has alternate, or like a pinwheel pattern in the center, in which on camera this version actually looks a lot better. Okay. Let's go back to the original. If I do a quarter turn this way, I could do that. In which I do like this kind of pinwheel effect here. If I were to make this block, I would probably leave this maroon colored fabric there, but make the rest of the block a solid green. And then of course I could turn it the other way, where we make the green the pinwheel. Something doesn't look right. Oh well. Is it this one? No, that's right. And again, you still get that green pinwheel, or you get a green pinwheel in the center. Coincidentally though, this would be the secondary block to this. So I would get both patterns anyway. Let's see, can I get it back to that? So if I were to make a quilt just like this, This would be one block. That secondary block would be the one with the greens in the middle, because here's what's going to happen. This is what would come out from there, or something thereof. So, yeah. Okay, but I'm going to stick with the original intended block design, but if you are interested in this and you want to play around, you can grab yourself the pattern and the template set. So these, yep, there's 4 templates, one for each of the individual pieces to make up the unit. Not a difficult block. Well, if you have the template pieces, it's not a difficult block to do, and not doesn't take long to actually complete it either. So and it just goes together like a 4-patch. Oh, Kimbera says she just turned 71 last Sunday. Well, happy belated birthday. Okay. Eric, the Desert Quilters of Nevada Quilt Show in Henderson is on the 20th and the 21st of this month. If you remember, it is a bit small compared to what you have been to. I actually went last year. And, oh yeah, it is, well, comparatively speaking to what you see at like the bigger national shows, like Houston or QuiltCon, yeah, it's definitely not as big. But I will say I was quite impressed with the quilts that were there, because some of them, I mean, they could have been entered into those national shows. So it's definitely something I am probably going to go, or if I can go and turn myself away from work, I will definitely check it out again. But thanks for reminding me of that, Linda. Interesting, though, at last year's quilt show, I did see a booth from Martelli. And it was actually Mr. Martelli that was running the booth. Well, he was doing it by himself, but I was like, you know, that guy doesn't even go to Houston, and yet he was here. I wonder if he has a house here. Okay, and again, this quilt block doesn't really have any seams that you really need to match up, so very, very beginner friendly. And there's my asterisk. I'm going to press this seam open to get it flat. And I know the instructions say to press it over, but that's a lot of seams right there in the center. So I'm going to just press it open real quick. Bum ba da bum. Twirla. That's what the quilt pattern is named. Okay, everybody's now saying happy birthday to Kim. So, sounds like a sewing day to me. Oh, she's talking to Kim. The day was cold and quiet. We started with snow, then freezing rain, then sleet, and ended up with over an inch of rain. And she ended up playing with fabrics. Well, sounds like a good day to me, Kim. Looks good. Thank you. Thank you. Kim says she got her string bag out and sorted all the crumbs out, condensed strings into a 2-gallon bag that fleece sheets came in. I took crumbs and made a five mug rugs. Okay, guys, let's all do this together. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kim Burris. Happy birthday to you. Well, belated birthday. Happy birthday, Kim. Okay, so this is, again, this is one of those blocks where you can do it in scrappy fabrics, or you can kind of play around with it and it'll look really great. So that's what I did earlier today when we were on the Zoom call. This is the block that I put, and this is the thumbnail. Okay, it's not a difficult block, and it's one of those blocks where you don't really have to match any of the seams, and you don't have to necessarily even do it in this layout. You can play around with it and see what you come up with. But I would see doing this block or this version of the block and making a whole quilt out of it. I could also see doing something where you just use 2 different prints and doing a whole quilt out of that. Now, the actual pattern, it calls for, let's see, these are 7-inch blocks. Yeah, so this will be a 7-inch block, 7-inch finished block. That is the pattern, or that is the quilt, if you follow the pattern. And all of these flowers on the border, those are all appliqued on, but of course you don't have to do that. But a whole quilt of just this block would look like that. You could probably do this in a day, granted that you do have your templates. But even, yeah, so there's your template that you can cut out. The pattern also gives you the cutout for the flowers. And it's a pretty straightforward block. Again, the templates kind of make it easy to put together. So you just make sure that you do have the right template being sewn, or the right piece being sewn to the right piece. That's all. But a lot of versatility with this in terms of how you use up your fabrics. So maybe I'll do a quilt of a combination of both of these, where one could be just with the crumbs, my crumb squares, because I need to use them up. The other could be where it's just printed fabrics. And again, I don't have to do this particular layout. And look at the secondary pattern that you get here too. That's pretty cool. Okay, I wonder what this would look like if it were on point. Ah, that would be interesting. And of course I could put a sashing in between, so if I want to separate the blocks out, you could do that. Okay, so thank you again to this person. She is here, I think, still. Thank you again for this wonderful gift. It will be put to good use. Maybe by the end of the year I'll have a quilt done. Don't quote me on that though. Okay. Alrighty. So what is coming up for Treasure Heart Creations? Well, I will be on live next week. I hopefully, fingers crossed, that everything goes well, that I don't have to be called in to work again. I'll be on Saturday morning, and we'll do a crafting project related to Easter. So yeah, I already have that in mind. Chris Montour, again, this is coming your way. Just remember to send me the email with your mailing address. If you haven't done it already, I think that might have been you sending me the email, but I will double check that. Okay, let's see. I was trying to get the first video out for the quilting mat series. In fact, this quilt that you see behind me is related to that. I got the video done, but when I ran it over, or when I kind of reviewed it again, I'm kind of kicking myself for this. That video was almost 2 hours long. And I said, oh boy, this is, even for me, it was boring. So I'm kind of in the process of revamping it and refilming certain parts of it, which is why it wasn't out when I said it was supposed to be. So it is coming out. Hopefully I will get through it tomorrow, and then by Monday, but don't quote me on that, but by Monday, hopefully it will be out. And I'm breaking, well, I took out a lot of things that were just not necessary. And well, I might end up splitting the video into 2 parts. So we'll see how that goes. But if you're wondering what happened to the quilting math video, yeah, it was over 2 hours long, or it was close, almost 2 hours long. And I said, that's too long. And it was kind of boring. So we kind of jazz it up a little bit. So, put it on the wall behind you with those blocks, okay? The blocks are not the same size though, but you can kind of get a glimpse. Oh, even that would be interesting. Let me move this way. Now that I see it on camera, maybe I would want to do an Irish chain with this block too. Thanks for sparking that idea, Donna. All right, guys. Any last minute questions? Any last minute things? Again, we'll be on live next week. Well, I'm going to make a concerted effort to be on live next week, Saturday, and we'll do a crafting project for that. And quilting math video being revamped, so it should be out sometime this week, later on. Hey, Ms. Remo, we're about to wrap up here, but good to see you here, girl. All right, guys. Well, if there are no more questions, well, thank you guys for joining me here tonight. Hope you guys will check out this pattern. Twirling all day. You can make this block with it. Or if you want to, you can do your own version of it, which is what I did here. either way, it's a pretty cool block. And I don't know. There's a good chance that this might end up on my work in progress list for a whole quilt. If not, yeah, these will definitely be mug rugs if I decide to do it. But I need to use up a lot of those crumb scraps. So it might be this. We'll see. All right, guys. Take care. Have a great rest of your week or weekend. And we hopefully will see you next weekend in the morning or maybe in the evening. More likely in the morning, though. Carissa says, thanks for the Zoom live. Happy Sunday. You're very welcome, Carissa. Thanks for joining in. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you. That's Sue. Good night. Have a blessed night. You too. All right, guys. That is it for this live. So, yeah, we'll see you next weekend. But until then, let's all get out there. Let's all create something. Bye for now.